Hello everyone, welcome to the series of leadership talks where we have practitioners come and talk about real world projects that they are handling, a few of the challenges that they are handling, and what kind of skills they look for when they hire people in their companies. Hello, Sreenath, and to give you a brief introduction of Sreenath, Sreenath has done his BBA from University of Madras. Then he has done his postgraduate program in management, retail management, in fact, from Chennai Business School. Then from Indian School of Business, he has done his advanced management program in business analytics. Right. So these are a few of the amazing things, and he has amazing experience. I was just going through the experience, and I think I will not be able to remember everything because the experience is very wide, and experience cuts across different industries. He worked with Chennai Central or Central for that case, that is Future Lifestyle Fashion Limited. He worked in the space of management and marketing, so he understands the domain aspects. He has also worked with AB InBev, that's a brewery company, and he has worked as a data scientist there before switching gears to HP, where he slowly and steadily climbed up the ladder from marketing to supply chain and order management to customer analytics to hardcore analytics and data management to becoming a project manager and subject matter expert in the space of analytics, right? That's quite an achievement, I should say. And he has also worked with WNS Global Services as retail and CPG analytics manager. This particular company is into research and analytics. Then he worked with the math company as a delivery practice leader. And today, as we speak, he's working with a company called as eClerx as delivery leadership consultant in the space of data science. Wow, what an amazing experience you have. Well-rounded domain experience.
Thank you.
So I'm sure there'll be a lot of learning for us.
Sure.
Yeah. So Sreenath, a lot of people who want to get into this field want to understand what are the kind of real world projects which are handled, right, in companies, and what are a few challenges which you people encounter. Would you like to throw some light on that?
Yeah. So first, to give you some brief of the company that I'm currently working on, into what are they into essentially, and then probably with that context, it will be more relatable for the audience as well to understand what are some of the challenges, right? So, like you rightly mentioned, I currently lead the data science and AI practice for eClerx, right? So, eClerx is essentially a global client transformation, or they basically enable analytics and AI and digital solutions. Our clients span basically from financial services, retail, media, and manufacturing, and our focus is widely on the delivery of actionable insights, driving operational efficiency and enabling scalable AI driven solutions, right? So I work on leveraging data to not just generate reports, but to also solve some of the business problems, optimizing the processes, and create innovative solutions that drive measurable values. Right. So, given this scenario, coming to your question of what are some of the challenges that are currently striking in my sector or in my industry, is basically there is a lot of requirement for enabling AI in many of these processes, right? But most of these business come up because of the buzzword that is going on around AI, right? But they're not able to specifically identify what is the right use case, or what is the right what is the right place where we can employ AI, right? So that is where we come in and we try to look through their processes, look through their business, and try understand where essentially AI would be well equipped, right? So that it not only gives them the cutting edge advantage in their processes in improving their business, but also provides them a good return on investments coming from us, right? So we essentially look to identify these use cases in terms of where there's need of optimization using innovation, where there is a requirement of, say, low friction in terms of manual efforts needed, etc. So we identify such processes, such use cases, and then suggest how we can enable AI to help them solve their problems.
Wonderful, wonderful, Srinath. So this is a very different space altogether. A lot of people who are from non-IT background, they ask me on what kind of rules exist. Here we go, friends. This is a perfect example of understanding the entire process.
Correct.
Understanding the entire value chain of the company and trying to figure out what are the value added, non-value added activities, what are non-essential, non-value added activities, and then how do you actually go about solving that? What kind of solutions fit in? Would it be forecasting model? Would it be simple data engineering stuff, or analytical AI, or Gen AI, or agentic AI? Figuring out that is in itself a challenge, and that is solved by Srinath and team. And identifying the return on investment. How much time are they spending on a specific activity, and how much does it cost? Versus if they were to implement an AI solution, how much will it cost? And in the period of 1 year or 2 years, would they break even or not? So yeah, wonderful, Srinath. And what are typical challenges that you encounter in this space, Srinath?
See, the major challenge would be the data itself to begin with, right? I don't, I'm in the complete span of my experience, I've not come across any situation or any case studies that I have worked on where the data is perfect, right? So first, trying to work on the data is the primary responsible for any AI engineer or a data scientist for that matter, right? Ensuring that it could be in various forms, it could be structured, unstructured, but essentially trying to align the data to the objective, trying to align the data, performing your EDAs, performing your feature engineering, and much before that, taking few steps back is data cleaning, right? So trying to transform the data as to how it is required for the objective, right? So those are the preliminary challenges that anyone goes through. Much of the time, I would, if I have to put a number to it, almost around 80% of the time is spent on ensuring the data is created or curated, if I have to term it that way, to get it to the way you want to model the AI solution, right? So that is one primary challenge. The other challenge that I would say, which I have been facing of late, is trying to convey the solutioning in terms of business understanding, right? So there's a lot of technical aspects that we get involved into in converting the business problem into a solution, right? Now, while we take the solution to the business, they may not be able to comprehend the kind of the technicality that we have fitted in to bring out the solution, right? So we need to ensure that we package it in the right manner, that the business is also able to understand, try to speak the business language, right? So I have basically introduced a position in my team called the AI translator, right? Or a analytical translator as well, right? Where the person is just focusing on how do we work to ensure that the business is able to comprehend with the solution that we have providing, right? Translating the technical aspects to the business aspects, and ensuring that the business understands the value, the magnitude of or the impact of what the solution will be entailing to for his problems, right? His or her problems, and ensuring that the end result is in a consumable fashion with the business teams, which is where the impact is going to be larger.
Wonderful, wonderful. Again, different dimension, is what you have explained. Wonderful. So Srinath is saying that identifying the data sources and understanding what kind of data exists there, what is the quality of that data, security of the data, because if you're getting from sensors, data should be encrypted as well. And then figuring out way to store the data. Even before you store, what kind of cleaning has to be done. One is storing your raw data, one is storing your transformed data as well, right? These are very important things. Also, what you think as an AI expert might be very different than how businesses perceive the AI solution. So it always makes sense to communicate in a way that business understands, that your AI solution will actually have an impact, and how is it going to impact. And Srinath rightly said that 80% of the time roughly is spent on identifying the data sources, cleaning the data, storing it in the right place. And for this 80% of time, customers should not feel that there is no work happening or there is no output that we are seeing. So it makes sense to communicate properly. Communication is the key. An analytical translator, AI translator, is a role specifically designed for this. This is a new role. Yeah, I'm hearing for the first time that such a nice name is given. And again, people with MBA background, people from non-IT background who wants to get into the field of AI, Gen AI, you can look at all these different roles, friends. It may not necessarily be a role where you sit down and write the code. Of course, white coding is around the corner, and then accomplish AI solutions. Wonderful. And one final question, Srinath. If you were to hire someone into your company, into your department, right, would be working with you or under you, then what kind of skills do you look for?
See, predominantly for the ones who are aspiring to get into a field like AI and data science, right? So their preparation should go beyond coding and algorithm. And why I say this is it requires a blend of technical expertise, practical experience, and above all is the business problem solving mindset, right? They need to as a prerequisite, they need to have strong fundamentals around, of course, mathematics, statistics, programming, right? Especially uh, with tools like Python, etc. Right? Some level of hands-on experience. I know many of the aspirants might come in as freshers, probably right out of college. Some would be looking to transition from some of their existing roles into, say, the data science or AI roles, right? So what would essentially be needed in this case is try getting access to real world data sets, projects, and probably participate in competitions like Kaggle. You have Analytic Vidya as well, right? But the end goal should be trying to build an end-to-end solution from data cleaning to model deployment, right? And many a times when I essentially personally interview some of these candidates, I often see that they're not able to marry the business understanding and the technical concepts, right? So that is where it is going to be very helpful to learn how to translate these applications into business outcomes. And the most powerful would be when you can essentially marry the real world problems and the theoretical scenarios. So application, it is not just about, when I mentioned at the beginning, it is not about it should go beyond coding and algorithm. It is basically trying to understand where exactly your algorithms would get applied in your real world problems, right? So continuous learning is when you could achieve this, right? With that too, when you have AI landscapes evolving rapidly, you need to stay updated with the new tools, frameworks, and have a continuous research approach. Of course, like Bernie also mentioned, communication is key. You need to have a technically strong solution. Definitely is valuable, but how you can explain it to the business impacts what you're doing, right? So to just end this topic, I would probably say I would always tell an AI aspirant is think like a problem solver, understand the business context, and apply AI creatively is what separates a good data scientist from great ones.
Exactly what I've read on World Economic Forum 2030 jobs, right? Those are the exact things that you have echoed here, Srinath. So very clearly you're saying is, knowledge should not be limited to the programming aspects or machine learning aspects. It should go beyond the coding and algorithms and math, right? People have to work on the real world projects. And they should be able to establish a clear linkage between the business problem and the technical solution. That is very, very much needed. And you were saying that, marriage between these two is not happening. And communication skills are critical to communicate that to the stakeholders. And then problem solving skills, creative thinking, right? These are the skills which will be most preferred in 2030, supposedly, based on World Economic Forum report. And programming, etc., would not be the core skills in 2030. So that also you made it very clear to everyone. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sreenath. We have, I think, 700,000 subscribers on all of our social media platforms put together. And they would certainly be benefited with the knowledge that you have given. And thank you so much for willing to share openly your learnings for the benefit of the wider community.
Yeah,
thank you once again, and do stay in touch, Srinath.
Sure, definitely. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm always happy to help fellow aspirants, my colleagues, because this is going to be a industry that is not just booming right now, but would be continuously booming. You might have heard of other industries which have a certain shelf life in terms of booming, but I think the AI data science space is not going to end anytime sooner, right? So it is going to take us a long way. So definitely happy to help young aspirants to come on to this bandwagon as soon as possible. Thank you for this
Thank you
opportunity
so
again.
much, Srinath.
Thanks for your time.
All the best.